we will be at the Marina with the Vol Navy for the Tennessee-Kentucky game. It's the best game going on in the SEC this coming weekend. 2 top 25 opponents. And so we will be set up there live with Big Noon. I think you guys will enjoy that experience. And I hope to hang out with you down by Calhoun's on the river, if you know exactly where I am talking about hanging out. And I am going to continue to break out all of my gambling picks and fight through what has become a difficult situation in college football. We're down a little bit. Doing really well with the Outkick six-pack, by the way. So I hope you've also been betting our NFL picks. But here are my picks in order. I've got 11 of them for you. West Virginia plus 7.5 against TCU. I like the Mountaineers at home. They've been, as many college teams are, a very different team at home this year. I think they have a good chance to keep this one close. I've got West Virginia plus the 7.5. I like Penn State. Ohio State, dominant team, number 2 in the nation right now, hasn't really been challenged, the Buckeyes haven't, since week 1 against Notre Dame. I like Penn State to keep it close. It's going to be a wild environment in Happy Valley. I like the fact that the last 5 of these games have been closer than the 15.5 margin. I just think that Ohio State is way overvalued here. I think that Penn State is undervalued. The last 6 games, have been decided by 13 points or less. I am hopping on board here. Georgia Tech plus the points, just a bet against Florida State. I don't believe that Florida State should be a 24.5-point favorite against any team in the ACC. I am taking Georgia Tech plus the points. Love Arkansas. Minus 3.5 at Auburn. Arkansas's offense way better than Auburn's. They've had a couple of weeks to get ready. I think that Auburn is awful, frankly. And I don't think they have the offensive firepower to keep up. I'm taking Arkansas minus 3.5. Iowa, I keep betting on the Hawkeyes. Sooner or later, I'm going to get the Hawkeyes right. The numbers would have to line up here. I'm taking Iowa minus 10.5. Oklahoma State plus the points on the road against Kansas State. Not a lot of respect right now for Oklahoma State in the gambling markets. I think they get it done. Florida, Georgia. I like Florida plus all these points. Biggest line that has existed in the cocktail party in modern history. 22.5 for Florida. Both teams come off of a bye. This is a very pride-filled game. Originally, we were going to be at this game. But then the line got so out of control, and Florida's already lost 3 games, and so they aren't even ranked as a top 25 opponent anymore. But I like the Gators to cover this 22.5. I think that Georgia will win by double digits, but 22.5 is just too many. I've had the good fortune to be at a bunch of cocktail parties. There's a lot of rivalry aspect there. And, in rivalry games, sometimes crazy things happen. Mizzou at South Carolina, I like the under. Eli Drinkwitz's team could only put up 17 points against Vanderbilt after 2 weeks to prepare. That does not spell well for this game against South Carolina. I think there's a good chance South Carolina is going to get the win here, but I like the under 47.5. Kentucky at Tennessee. This is the game I'm going to be at. I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I like here. Be honest with you, I like Tennessee to blow out Kentucky. 52-28. I don't think Kentucky's going to be able to stop Tennessee's offense. Tennessee's best part of their defense, which is not great, but their play against the run has been very good all year. I don't think that Kentucky will be able to run the football. I think that Tennessee's defensive line will have a great deal of success against the Kentucky offensive line. And frankly, I just think Tennessee's going to score points. I don't think anybody can shut down this Tennessee offense. Hendon Hooker's playing too well. Jalen Hyatt's playing too well. It's going to be a night game at Neyland. The crowd is going to be electric. They're breaking out black uniforms and black helmets, which I think is going to have, believe it or not, the team super psyched and hyped to go out and play. It's a primetime game. There have not been very many primetime games in Neyland in a while with this much at stake. I think that Tennessee is going to beat Kentucky, and that is going to set up next week a number 1 versus number 2 matchup in Athens. Because if both Tennessee and Georgia win, prediction, I think the playoff committee is going to have Tennessee 1 based on the quality and strength of their wins, and I think they will have Georgia 2, and then probably Ohio State 3. So I think if Tennessee and Georgia both win, it's going to be a 1 versus 2 matchup down in Athens. Early preview, I think Georgia will win that game. I'm just not sold that Tennessee's ready to go on the road and win and potentially go 12-0. But I think Tennessee gets the dub over Kentucky and covers it. Ole Miss, I like the -2.5. I think Ole Miss covers this number. A little bit nervous just because there's so much storm, turmoil, tempest that's going on right now surrounding Texas A&M. And I feel like sometimes it's a circle the wagons effect. But I just like Lane Kiffin and his ability to get his team ready to get this win and set up one of the biggest games in Ole Miss history, which would be Alabama coming to Ole Miss next week, 2 weeks from now. So I like Ole Miss to beat Texas A&M -2.5. And I also like Michigan to blow out Michigan State. Michigan has lost 2 in a row to Michigan State. I think they want to get back and dominate.